All right, officially, good morning to everyone. Thanks for being here. Today is a very special day. So hold on for 1 sec. I want to wish everyone a happy Batman Day. It's Batman Day today, if you didn't know that. So go out and celebrate however you celebrate Batman Day, but it is Batman Day. So I wanted to wish everybody a happy Batman Day. And with that said, before I get rolling here, does anybody have any questions that's on their mind or things? There might be one. I'm assuming there might be one question you have. Oh, Rachel, go ahead. I'm thinking in my head what your question might be. Go for it. I can't, if you're talking, I can't hear you. Can you show us how to put a video in the quiz? Sure, of course I can. All right, that's easy one. Anyone else? Other questions? That wasn't the question I was expecting. No one has a question of, is there school on Monday? No one? Well, the answer is, I think so. Because there hasn't been anything from the college announced yet. And I know that the premier announced, well, first of all, the Prime Minister announced that all federal employees will have the day off as a federal holiday. But Jason Kenney said that they will encourage schools and places like that have a moment of silence, but it doesn't sound like there's any days off for anybody. So stay tuned, keep staying tuned, but I'm gonna put my money on that there will be school on Monday. So if you were hoping for a holiday on Monday, sorry, unless you're gonna make your own self holiday and just not show up on Monday. It's up to you. Okay. And that really doesn't affect us too much because we don't have class anyways. So all right, let's see what we've got here. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Lisa, yes, there is. What? Can you shorten? Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, I have not heard anything different that classes are canceled or anything like that. So show up on Monday. You put. So Tessa, like, are you talking about the videos that you as my students are going to put in your quizzes? And if that's what you're asking, the answer is kind of. Okay. So, I mean, you don't really have a lot of control over YouTube videos, but I'll show you a couple little, well, I'll show you a trick. So here, let me just fire up a Google form. Let me just find the one that we're working on here. Okay, there's our Sky Science quiz. All right, so I'll show you just how to do the add a video again, and then we'll talk about shortening it up, that kind of thing. So really doesn't matter what kind of pardon me, what kind of question you add. So we'll just add, what tile am I on here? Let's do that one. I'll just add new tile here. There we go. All right. So if you're going to add a video, this is so you're going to have some questions to go with it. So there's going to be our question or whatever to go with it. But if you're going to add a video, you use this button right here on the sidebar, I guess we'll call it. And you just go click add a video. Now, what I recommend is that to me, I don't like to search in this bar. So what I like to do is just go out to good old YouTube, and then I'll just type in Sky Science again because oopsie, since that's what my quiz was about. Science. There we go. Sure. How about now? Let's just do this. All right. So it doesn't really matter which video we choose. Let me just view this here. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. How about all about the sun? Okay. So I find the video.
If you're going back to school, before you submit your essay.
Okay, and of course we suffer through the ad. There we go. All right, so here I'm just going to pause it for a sec. There we go. I just grabbed the share link. If it shows up here, oh man, very slow. Come on there, YouTube. And once you grab the link, then we're going to paste it back in our. There we go. Copy that link. Then what we'll do here is I switch it over to URL. and then I just paste that link in there, and it shows that video about the sun, and then I'm just going to select it. Okay, and then the video gets added here, kind of tiny. See our video up here on constellations is a little bit bigger. Pardon me. So remember, you can use this little round circle and click on the dots and put your video in the middle. And then the other thing you can do with your video is you can click on it and you can drag it and make it a little bit bigger, or as big as you want it to be. Okay, so if you click off of the video, you get the circles, or the circle with the dots. If you click on the video, you get these blue dots, which by the way are called handles. Okay, we can call it the sun. Oopsie, the sun. And then of course, whatever questions you'd say, please watch this video and answer the questions below, or something like that. Okay, now when you are in settings and you go to, where is it here? Hold on for the presentation. If you go shuffle question order, what happens then is you will lose that, the video and the questions are together, because it'll just mess them all up. So if you want on your final submission for this quiz assignment, if you don't turn shuffle on, that's okay. I won't deduct any marks. So because otherwise it just messes up the order of stuff. Okay, does that help with how to add the video? Okay, I hope so. Okay, can you shorten the videos? Like I said, kind of, and we'll just use this video as an example. Okay, so again, if I go to the share button here, the only thing that I can really do, and I'm just going to back up here. Sorry for 1 second. Let me just get into the video a little bit. Let's say like right there. So we're at 1 minute and 42 seconds. So if I go to the share, one of the things that I can do is I can click this little checkbox and say start the video at 1 minute and 42 seconds instead of watching all the stuff before it. But you can't really if you wanted like just the middle, but not the beginning and the end, you can't really do that without actually downloading the video from YouTube, editing it in some video software, at least not that I'm aware of. If somebody else knows how to do that, please teach me. But this is the only way that I know you can shorten a video, is that you can skip some stuff, say start it at whatever time it is. So then you'll also notice the sec here. I'm just going to, and then when you do that, what it does is it adds a kind of funky number here on the end. And then if you copy it, then that's when it should start at that time frame. Okay, so that's the only way that I really know how to shorten a video. All right, does that help? Tesla, does that help a little bit? Okay, perfect. Okay, what else do we get? So I think we had this problem. I'm not sure if it was in this class or my other class as well. So that when you go in your form here and you go add a video, let me just see here. Let's go video search, and we'll go, I don't know, the sun. And oh, there's that one. So if we were to do that before and go select, well, it does work, but I think it's better to come in here, find the video you want, and then choose the link. Now, does that help, Rachel? Or are you having some other problem? The videos are unavailable.
I think I'm still having some other problems. When I do the search bar in the test, no videos come up. It says no video found. So I do the copy URL thing and it says this video cannot be played by your account or something.
And are you definitely in your EDU account?
Yes, definitely.
Weird.
Yep.
Well, do you have a class right after this one?
No.
Do you want to stick around after and you can share your screen with me and we'll see if we can fix it?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you're very welcome. All right. Any other thoughts, questions? Anything? Okay.
Sorry, I
Oh,
have a
sorry,
question.
Ricky. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
When we put the video on our quiz, are you going to be checking the actual video, like if it corresponds to the question, or just so much that we can insert it onto the quiz?
Yeah. All you're really showing me is that you have the know-how to add a video to
Okay,
a
perfect. I
Google
just didn't
form.
want to have to spend an hour finding the perfect video. So
Oh my-
thank
it would take me hours and hours and
Yeah.
hours to do that. So yeah, no, I just look at, is a video there? Yep. Do you have questions that are attached to it? Yep. Good to go. Okay. All right. On my little agenda thing then, I have math fair and RDPL volunteers, so Red Deer Public Library volunteers. So I'm just going to throw a shout out for both of these things. So for on November 23rd, anybody who's in Math 260 now or has taken Math 260 in the past would know about Math Fair. Okay, so Math Fair happens, like I said, on the 23rd of November. What's going to happen is about 120 K to 12, probably grade. Most likely, it's going to be grade 4 to 6 kids are going to descend upon the college or the polytechnic, and they're going to come and play the Math Fair games that the Math 260 students create. But not all 120 of them can be sort of in the space that we have at the same time. So some kids, half of the kids will play the games, and the other half go on kind of a scavenger hunt around the college. And so what we need is some volunteers to guide those kids around and show them the different things. And then one of the other things that they get to do something called Red Hot Science. And last year they did some robots and did some funky things with robots. And so we just need people to help to sort of literally kind of herd cats, really kind of idea. But it's a great way to interact with some kids. And we don't make you herd all those cats all by yourself. You'll be you and a partner, or even maybe a couple other people. And it is like a morning commitment, like a full morning, like 9 to noon kind of idea. And then there's an afternoon commitment as well, because we have kids coming all day basically. So if you're interested in that, you get, like I said, a little bit of exposure to kids and teachers from K to 12. But also you will get a letter of like recognition and volunteer letter from our associate dean saying thank you, which is a great thing if you want to add to the volunteerism part of your e-portfolio, which you're going to end up doing in this program. Okay, so if you're interested, I did throw the link this morning for volunteering for Math Fair here in our Google Classroom, or not, sorry, not Google Classroom, in our Remind. And then I just wanted to show you something too. In that Google form, I remember we talked about form limiter, right? I have limited, so the cutoff is November 1st at 4 p.m. So I use form limiter for this form to turn this form off at 4 p.m. on November 1st. So at 4 p.m., no one else will be able to volunteer last minute kind of idea. And I see we already got 3 people responding. So that's awesome. And so you can volunteer in the morning only if you want, or you can volunteer in the afternoon only, or you can volunteer all day if you want to do that. And then we feed you with some pizza and all that jazz. And it's a great fun day, and you get to see the games and the kids, and it's a lot of fun. So if that's something you're interested in, the link is in Remind, or if you have any questions or anything, you can always get a hold of me, because I'm one of the organizers for it. Okay. And then let me just talk about the Red Deer Public Library thing, and then if there are any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Okay. So with Red Deer Public Library, I volunteer in the adult literacy program, and what that means is that I work with new Canadians or people who would like to become Canadians and help them with their English skills. I've been doing it for at least 5 years, maybe 6 years, and it's fantastic. You get to work with people who have come from different places all over the world, and they want to learn English. And so sometimes it's like teaching a grade 1 kid, because they don't know really any English, and you got to teach them literally like literacy skills. So if you want to be a K1, 2 kind of teacher, it's a great way to brush up on teaching like English. And so you can do that. And but the people that come, and you can choose whoever you want to volunteer, like who you want your person to be. Like right now, my last person was here for 5 years, and I worked with him and really literally his whole family. And we became great friends, but they had to move back to Spain. So they were from Spain, and they're back there now. And he was a teacher. So he was teaching here with Red Republic in the Spanish immersion school, and now they've gone back to Spain. So anyhow, and I've worked with people from the Ukraine before, and I've worked with people from Nigeria, like Africa. So, and again, like I said, the adults that you work with range from, I don't know any English, to they have a PhD and they just want to brush up on their English skills before they take their citizenship English test. So if you didn't know that, to become a citizen in Canada, there's all kinds of tests they have to pass. And so it's in what I like about it is it's really flexible scheduling. So it's not a hard, pardon me, Monday, Wednesday, whatever, at such a time. You just pair up with a person of your choice, and you find a mutually agreeable time to meet. You can either meet at the library. Me and my person, his name was Fernando. He and I met a lot of times at Tim Hortons, but then we became friends, and then we started having family dinners and things like that together. So it was really kind of a neat thing. I am just in the midst of getting a new person myself. So there is a real influx. Obviously, if you follow world news, there is a big influx of people from the Ukraine right now. They have currently, they have 77 people on the wait list. So there's a great need for people to volunteer and help these folks. And mine was a long-term commitment, but my other two before Fernando, who just moved back to Spain, they were just basically a few months. And then I moved on to somebody new, kind of thing. So what else can I tell you about it? Oh, and then so there's a large influx of people right now from the Ukraine, but also there's going to be an influx of people coming from Afghanistan as well. Okay, and those people are predominantly going to be people that helped either Canadian, American, or Allied forces fight the Taliban in Afghanistan. And because of that assistance that they gave to the Allied forces, now their lives and their families' lives are in danger. So now they have been given status to come to Canada so that they don't face any kind of punishment or be killed kind of idea. So if you're interested in doing that, again, it's another great volunteer opportunity, and you get your feet wet as being a teacher. So if you're interested, all I would ask you to do is just send me either a remind message or an email and say, hey, Brad, that sounds like something I'd like to do. And then I'll get you in touch with the really awesome ladies at the library. And then, like they just did for me, they sent me a list of 5 people with a little bio of who they are, where they're from, and kind of what they need. And I get to choose. So, and I haven't chosen yet. I'm still thinking about my first, second, and third kind of choice. But again, if you're interested, send me a message or an email, and I will get you hooked up with the library ladies. Okay. Any questions about anything else? But let me read the text or the messages here. Yeah, Tori, I can't see why not. Oh, if you're already in it. Yeah, that's a good question. You know what? I really don't know. I mean, I can't see why. As long as somebody's there to help play the game with the kids, right? If you're going to be one of the presenters and have a game there, as long as it doesn't conflict with your ability to present your game and play it and interact with the kids, then I'd say sure, why not? Okay, and then Christian. Are they in the evenings? No, not really. Like most of mine were like after school, but Fernando was a teacher, so it was really easy, right? It was like we could meet at 4:30 and chat for an hour and do whatever. But it's the times are negotiable with your person, and in that little bio that you'll get for the people that might work, you might want to work with, it also tells you what times are they're available or what works good for them. So if it was a person like I can only meet in the evenings from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., that might not be a person that you want to work with then, right? And it might not anything else bad about them or anything like that. It's just that the time doesn't work for you, right? Or same thing would say, if I can only meet from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. in the afternoons. Well, if you're in class or at the college, then that doesn't work for you either. So like I said, it's super duper flexible, and they're just happy to have somebody to work with them, and I have never had a conflict about times. Okay. All right. Lisa, I would say no. I mean, the answer, I'd say no, you have to catch up. If you're going to miss like other kind of class that you'd have to catch up on your own. So if you want to volunteer for Math Fair, it should probably, you're kind of on your own as far as missing classes go. Kate, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Hi. So I was just wondering about the rubric. We hand in everything.
Yeah.
I just have a question, like
for
where
it.
is that for some?
Okay, so that's a really good question. And you're talking about the Google Forms?
Yeah, like on every assignment, it's like make sure you
Excellent.
hand in like your rubric.
You betcha. So in down here under Google Forms quiz, right? I'll just open this up so you can see it a little bit better, right? Right here is the checklist. So most assignments have checklists, but some will have a checklist and a rubric, or one or the other. But you're responsible to hand in the checklist or the rubric or both of those things with every single assignment in the class. So here is the checklist for the assignment that we're currently working on, the quiz assignment. So what you'll do is you would go, because you can't really do anything on this one because you don't own it. You're only a viewer. So what you need to do is you need to go make a copy. And I'm just going to do that. And then you can call it whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter to me. Fall 22. I don't know what's at the beginning of that here. Whatever you want to call it. I'll just get rid of that stuff. And of course, you got to figure out where you want to save it. So I'll just save it to my Google Drive, just general Google Drive. And I'm going to make a copy. So then after you make the copy, and it takes its sweet time to do that, then what you're going to do is, and so the reason I do this, you're all probably going, oh man, but the reason I make it, because this is part of the self-reflection part of being a good teacher, is, okay, so did you create a Google form? Yes. So if you want, you can, choose the highlighter and say, okay, got that one done, right? Holy smokes, Brad, choose yellow. There we go. Well, I don't know why that's not working for me, but you could, why is that not working? Does that care? There we go. Right. You can make it yellow. Some people will just put like a check mark kind of thing in front of it. It doesn't matter to me how you, pardon me, how you indicate how it's done. One of the other things you can do is I'll just open up this site. This is my favorite way to do it. So this site's called Emoji Copy. And what you can do with Emoji Copy is just like all the emojis on your phone or whatever kind of device you've got. I don't know, here, I'll just use this one for example. Okay, I'm just going to copy that. And now going back to my checklist, you could add, the emoji in front of every one of the ones that you've accomplished, cut that kind of thing. So you're going to go through this. So one of the reasons I do this is you're going to go through it and go, oh, shoot, I don't have a paragraph answer. Darn it, I forgot that. So you're going to go back to your form, make a paragraph answer, and then, like I said, once that's done, do that kind of a thing. Okay, does that make sense to you, Kate?
Yeah, for sure. I wrote mine down, like I copied it, and then I kind of checked it. I was just wondering if you wanted me to scan it in, but this is a lot easier.
Yeah, this is much easier. I mean, the way you did it, 100%. You could do it, print it off and fill it out manually or by hand, and then take a picture of it or something. But yeah, this way is much easier, I think.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, hey, Michaela, go ahead.
You can also click the box and it'll check mark it and cross it off.
On the right here?
Yeah.
How did you get that to work?
I don't know. I just kind of clicked it and it just
Okay, well, you totally can do that. If it works, like I said, I don't care how you indicate it, as long as you indicate it. One other way that people do it is they'll highlight it, and then they can come up to the format button and go text, and some people just go strike through, right? And they'll just cross it off the list kind of that way. There's lots of different ways. Those of you that have a Mac, I'll just scooch down here a little bit. Those of you that have a Mac, up here on all of your, I don't know what you call this, your extensions bar or whatever, there's actually the ability to add emojis to things. I may not allow, but you can add emojis this way as well. I don't know where mine went, but I use emoji copy because it's super duper easy to do. And like I said, I don't really care what emoji you use. There's gobs of them there. So, okay. Other questions? No questions? All right. Okay. Let me close a bunch of tabs up here because feels like I got about 1,000 of them open here. Need all of those. What one's this? Yeah, we need that. We need that. We need that. Let's close up YouTube and emoji copy. All right. So first things first in today's for today's class is this Google Forms quiz is, if you'll notice, the date is September 19th. So I think that's Monday. It's due at noon on Monday. And then we've got the file systems and markup to work on today. And it's really super easy peasy. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to kind of show you what to do a little bit. And then we're just going to move on. Okay, so if we go there under week 2, I can see one person's already turned it in, but we've got these two documents. We've got the file systems document and the markup document. So under file systems, pardon me, there's this big document, and it kind of is a little unwieldy in a way, but I wasn't really sure how to do it any other way. But what you're going to do is you're going to just follow along in these boxes that I've created for you down here, and you're going to show me how you do each one of these skills. This first little part right here is just all about, first of all, making sure that you're in your Poly EDU account. Now, this icon's changed, but you know that it looks like this now. It's that black Arty Poly, okay? And so you're going to make sure that you're in the right account. And then how do you, because you're going to take a series of screenshots. So how do you take a screenshot on different systems? Well, on a Mac, to take a screenshot, if you go Command, Shift, and hold those down, and then hit the 4 key, it gives you this little crosshair. And then if you want to take a screenshot of something on the screen, you just click, hold, and drag, and it takes that picture down here. Okay, so that's how you do a screenshot on a Mac. Okay, well, that's one way. There's other ways too. On a Chromebook, if you want to take a screenshot, you can go Control and then this Windows button up here. Okay, that will help you there. And I think there's actually an app now that you can use in your toolbar, but I don't have my Chromebook open, so I can't show you. But if you're a Chromebook user and if you're having a problem with it, just let me know, and I'll send you a little video from my Chromebook. Okay, and then if you're a PC user, it is whatever key that is, whatever you call that. I guess that might be your Command key, and print screen. There's also, you have the ability to use the snipping tool in on your PC. And if I don't have a PC, so I can't really show you, but I know that it's down, in your down here at your, your menu, your start menu button up here, and you'll find the snipping tool down there. And if it's not there and you can't see it, there'll be a little search bar for you. Just type in snipping and it'll come up right away. And that snipping tool is actually very handy. Any PC users out there that can think of a better way to do a screenshot than what I've just explained? I haven't worked on a PC. Oh, God, it's been a long time. No? Nobody else has better ideas? Okay. All right. So then, oh, yes. Right here, it says no cell phone pictures. So none of this. Click and take a picture of your screen. Okay, if you do that, I won't give you the marks for the that kind of a screenshot. So here, I'll just give you an example of how you do like the first one. So in your Google Drive, please create an EDUC 1302 folder. So then what you would do is you would go to your drive. I think I'm in my drive there. You create an EDUC 1302 folder. Then you'd use whatever screen capture method that I just showed you. I'm going to do Command-Shift-4. You can grab that screenshot like that, right? And then you take it, it's right down here. And then what you'll do is you'll add it to this document in the green box. Now I make them green so that they stand out. And then what you would do is, and of course, don't forget, first of all, you got to make a copy, okay? Because you can't use my copy. And then all you're going to do then after that is go insert an image, and it's going to say, well, where do you want to insert it from, Brad? You'll say, upload from my computer, because it's going to be on my I save mine to my desktop. Yours might be in your downloads folder or wherever it might be. Here's that screenshot. I'm just going to open it up and I'm going to add it to that green box. So that first one is number 1 right here is done. Check, done. Next one is please color code your folder. So then what you would do there is back in your drive, you can see how mine is blue. I'll just do one that's not. And all you do on that is just right click it and say change color. Okay, so that kind of idea. And then once you change the color of it, again, same idea, take a screenshot, add it to the box below. So you can see I've given you an example of how to do that. And then down here is take your 1302 folder and share it with yourself. And what I mean by yourself, like your Gmail account, okay, or another email account that you can share it with. And so how you do that is you would just, again, pardon me, right click it. Actually, I'm going to back up for a sec. Hold on, I'm going to take a drink of tea here. Hold on. I'm going to ask you this question. I know my screen's really small here. Let me just make it a bit bigger. There we go. In what you can see on my screen, how do I tell which folders are shared and which ones are not shared? Does anybody know? Nobody knows?
It has a little arrow.
No, not quite. The little arrow just means that it's a shortcut, that this folder exists somewhere else, and I've just shortcutted it. So the little arrow is a shortcut. Okay, a few of you know there. So a better answer would be that there's that little person on it, right? You can see that little person. So this RDP folder is shared. This folder below it right here is not shared because there's no little person. So for that question, about sharing it, what you need to do then is you need to right click it and go share. And I would just recommend that you share it with your regular Gmail account. So again, you could just type in, Brad, whatever, at gmail.com or whatever your email address is, and share it with that person, right? And then you can give them privileges, whatever you want them to do. It's yourself, so I'd make yourself an editor so that you can actually share and use those files from one account to another. Okay, and so that's what you're going to do on that. Okay, so the next one down is, so there's the example. So you're gonna put yours there. The next one down is add a star, right? So add a star to your folder. So you can see in my example, hopefully you can see it. It's really small, but I'll just show you in my regular drive here, right? If you want to star something so it shows up in your starred items over here on the left-hand side, same idea. A lot of this stuff is just all right-clicking. Right-click it and add to starred. And you'll know it's a starred item because it's got a star beside it. Well, again, once you've done that, take your screenshot and then put it in the little green box. Okay. Next one down is there's that. Oh yeah, the ownership. So this one's really, really important that you know who owns the folder, okay, or a file. Doesn't matter whether it's a full folder or a file. So you can see here, I'm just gonna make it smaller for 1 second. Okay, there's an owner column here all the way down, right? And if it says me, then in this account under my Polytech EDU account, that means that these items actually belong to that account, to my Brad McDermott at rdpolyedu account. Okay. Anywhere that it says, and I think all of these are me's, but I'll just go into a folder, say, let's say this one. And actually, hold on, let me back up here. Let me go into here. I'll do this one. This is a better idea. There we go. So there is no owner column, but in an owner column, anywhere it doesn't have your name, so you can see here that this is owned by Dr. Rayom, this is owned by me. Now, you can see this account up here is my little purple circle. This one's a green circle. So this is my actual, is a different account. So you can see who owns it. And so the ownership, so all I want you to be aware of is that the things that you own will be under this account, right? And it'll say me. If it was an item shared from, let me just go to lesson planning for a second here. If it was an item shared from my other Gmail account, usually, or not usually, it will say, oh, maybe none of these are. It'll just say that the owner is, and it's weirdly, it'll say Brad McDermott, and you're like, oh, but that's me too. So it's got to say me in order for you to be able to use it. And here's why it's important. Why that's important is that it has to say me if you're going to add it to Google Classroom as an assignment. If it belongs to, let's say, my Brad McDermott account, then what's going to happen is it's going to say in Google Classroom, when you try to submit your assignment, down here in the bottom right-hand corner, it's going to say you're not the owner of that file. You can't submit it, right? And they do that so you can't submit, I don't know, your friend's work is your own kind of idea, right? So just make sure, the moral of the story is that you need to be aware of who owns what. And once you start using Google a lot, let's say even like in the K-12 classroom, you might share stuff with the person across the hall from you and some other grade 5 teachers in the school district. And soon some stuff will belong to you and some stuff will end up belonging to, your colleagues. So you just need to know that if it doesn't belong to you, that can have some, consequences, and not bad ones, but could have some consequences. If it doesn't have your name, like it had other people's names, and I want to use it, what do I do? If I want to make it my own, what do I do? And then Faye, I'll answer your question in a sec. How do I make? Yeah, thank you, Lisa. Yeah, so if there's something in there like, oh man, I love this rubric that my colleague across the hall uses for their grade 7 social studies, and I want to use it in mine. Yeah, just it's like, oh, I want to use that. Go there, go file, make a copy, and then that copy, it'll change the ownership from whoever's name it is, and it'll say me. Okay. So can we do those first two in one picture? Yeah, sure. Yeah, phase them. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. You can do that. Sure. Sounds good. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at some of the other ones here. So that's the ownership. So again, here is my sample. I just want you to make sure that you understand so you can see. It's really hard to see here. Let me make this guy bigger. I'll make it huge. That's as big as I can make it. So you can see again, it says me, and then it says Brad McDermott. Even though that is me as well, that just to me indicates that it's shared from one of my other accounts to my Poly EDU account. Okay. All right. Let me make that a tiny bit smaller. All right. So the next one down is create a new Google Doc and name it Practice Doc. So you should know how to do this, right? New Google Doc, and away you go from there. Okay. One other neat way, I'll just show you this kind of cool thing because it's kind of cool, is if you go doc.new in your bar, your search bar, or it's called an Omni bar, in your Omni bar, and you hit do that, what it will do, hopefully, there you go, it'll automatically make new Google Doc for you. And that works for, I think, just about everything, but there's a couple of the apps that it doesn't work for, but just doc.new and boom, it's done, right? And again, the only thing you need to make sure is that you're in the, in the right account when you do that, okay? And so that's kind of cool. You can do that. All right, let me come back here. So again, there we go. There's just these are just screenshots me showing you examples, okay? And oh yeah, so now that you've got a Google Doc, which I darn it, I just closed. Let me just do that here. Let me just hold on a second here. I just want to back up. Let's go to my drive. There you go. So now that I've made a new doc, and we're gonna end up doing this later today, is I want you to show me that you know how to change margins. Okay. So in any doc or any Google app, you can go to the file menu and you can scooch on down to page setup and you can change your margins. So if you were to do that now right now with me, yours will probably say 1, 1, 1, and 1. 0.5, and we'll do this quite often as we'll change the margins to 0.5, just gives us a little bit more real estate to do our stuff that we want to do in our Google Docs or Google Drawings or whatever it is. And 0.5 is probably about as much as you can push it out words if you want to print it. If you print it out, I mean, you can push it out right out to 0. But then if you send it to the printer, your printer is not going to like that. Okay. So, and you're not going to like the end result either, because it's not going to come out the way you want. So most printers will let you go to 0.5 of an inch, like half an inch, and still print it out properly. But if you stretch it out to 0.25 or whatever, and you're printing it, that's going to be a problem. Now, if it's going to be just digital and all you're ever going to do is look at it on the screen, heck, you can, and I've pushed things out to 0, right? Like no margin right to the very bottom. And it doesn't matter because you're never going to print it. Okay. And then of course, there's other things over here. Do you want it landscape and portrait, and what size do you want it in that jazz? But what I'm interested in here is that you know how to change the margins. Okay. And then once you do that, you just say, okay, now I've set mine to default to 0.5 always. And you can put it there if you want, but don't forget that there is going to be papers and stuff that you write that are going to require 1-inch margins. So APA format is a 1-inch margin. So you just got to be aware of how to change them and all that kind of jazz. Okay. So you can see that, you go to page setup, you go over here and change those margins. Okay. And then again, please throw your screen or your screenshot in there. Next one down is make your practice Google file and put it in your 1302 folder. So I've got this untitled document that I'll just call practice. I'm just going to add section B on there. Whoopsie, I didn't want to underscore. And then what it's saying is you need to put it in your 1302 folder. So there's a couple ways to do that. I can use, and I'll just make this bigger again. Right? I can use this folder to throw it into my 1302 folder, or what I can do is I can just find that wherever it is, practice right there, and I could drag it if I wanted. Or here, another way, the third way, is you could right click it and say move it to. So there's 3 different ways to kind of do that move that I'm aware of anyways. That you can move a file to a specific folder, because I don't know, some people don't mind having all of these files just out there kind of in the wild or loose. Me, as you can probably tell, I like folders. Okay, it just helps me keeps me more organized. And then of course there's folders inside of folders kind of idea, right? But one of my colleagues that I work with at the college, not in the Bachelor of Education program, but just at the college, basically just has everything out there just loose like this. That makes me nuts. I don't know about you, but it makes me crazy. So, but I mean, what his thing is, you know what? I've got the search bar up here. I can just search for that file if I want, right? But like I said, it's a personal preference. But for this assignment, you need to show me that you do actually know how to, organize a file. Okay. All right. And then oopsie. Hold on. There we go. And then of course, then what I need you to do again, of course, is take that screenshot. Okay. The next one down is you need to show me that you know how to delete a file, right? So it doesn't matter where you are in Google Drive. All you got to do is right click and say remove, or you can also, and I won't do this, but you can also drag it to the trash. Okay, just depending where you are in your, in your file system, but you just need to show me that that you can do that. And then what you need to do is go to your trash can and show me what's in there. Okay, and so that would be for this number 9. Okay, and just as a side note, if you're not aware, if you throw something in the trash but don't delete it immediately by clicking the empty trash button, after 30 days it's gone anyways. So you can just leave it in there if you want, and Google will take care of it for you. Okay, how to upload and convert a file. Now I'm going to show you a little trick. So you have to think of Google Drive, if you're not thinking of it this way, as like a USB stick, right? But it's just a USB stick out there in the cloud, right? And so so it doesn't, just like your USB stick, it doesn't care. Google Drive doesn't care what kind of files you put in there. You can put in Word documents, you can put in PDFs, you can put in, if you're a Mac user, you could put in, Mac, like what's Mac Pages, I think is what it's called, is their word processing software. You can put page files in there. You can put images, you can put videos. It doesn't care. Like I said, it just like a USB stick, the Google Drive doesn't care. But most of us are probably I shouldn't say most of us. Some of us are Microsoft users, and some of us are other software users. If you're a Microsoft user, what you can do, first of all, you have to know that in your Google Drive, and I don't know if I can make this much bigger. There we go. In your Google Drive, if you put a Word file in, it will have a W, a little W. If it's a Google Doc file, it will just be a blue file that looks like this. I don't have a lot of Word documents in my drive, but they would look like this. Okay. Now, here's something that you do need to know. Let me make that just there. Is in your drive, right here on the gear button, if you go to settings, what will happen, and you can see here that I've got this convert uploads button checked on. Yours might not be. So what that means is that whenever I get a PowerPoint or a Microsoft Word doc, like a Microsoft doc file, Word file, or
Your mic is off.
my apologies. Sorry. So what's the last, tell me what's the last thing you, how did that happen? Tell me the last thing you heard.
It was only off for a couple seconds before I let you know.
Okay, no, thank you. So anyways, you can go, I'll just do that little piece over here again. If you go up to the gear and you go to settings, you'll see this convert uploads area, and the checkbox for me is checked on. You can check it off. And if you have it checked off, that means that when you bring your Word file in, or your PowerPoint or your Excel file, it will just stay as an Excel or Word or whatever file format that is. But if you want to convert it to, let's say a Word file will get converted to a Google Doc, a PowerPoint will get converted to a Google Slideshow, and an Excel file will get converted to Google Sheets. If you have that checked on, it will do that automatically for you. I have it checked on because I don't use Word files for anything. Okay, so I have that checked on, and then when you have it checked on and you say done, when you bring a Word file in, it will automatically convert it. As you can see here, I'll just make that one bigger. As you can see, it'll convert it to a Google Doc file. So and so that, if you're not familiar with the different icons that represent each one, they're all here. And then there's a couple more things down this way too. So let me just go back to regular view. On the actual sheet, then you're gonna take a Word file and convert it. Now, question's gonna be, well, what if I don't have Word on my computer, Brad? And that's okay. You can convert or upload a different kind of file that you want. Okay. But you all actually do have access to Microsoft Word through the college. So if you go into the loop, you'll be able to find, there'll be the apps kind of link, and you'll be able to find all the different Microsoft apps. Okay, so give it a whirl. If you have problems with it, just let me know. Okay, all right. Add an emoji in front of your 1302 folder. So you can see in my drive that I do have an emoji. It's just a little blue dot. But you can see here for my Google Meet stuff, I got this little, the movie thing, whatever those things are called. So what you're going to do for that is again, I usually just end up going to emoji copy. And I'll just grab here. I'll just grab, I like that guy. He's a cute guy. I'll copy that one. And then all I do is, again, right click, and all you're going to do is say rename. And then just in front of that, I'll paste my emoji and say okay. And then I get an emoji right there. Okay, so that's all you're going to add is that. And I don't actually want that on there, so we'll just change that back. But that's how you add an emoji. Okay, so just go to emoji copy here. I'll throw the link for emoji copy into the chat. There you go. Okay, and you can see I've got it bookmarked. I use it often enough that I have it bookmarked. Okay, all right, let's go back here. So that's it. That's an easy one. Let's scooch on down here. Take a screenshot of a file that someone shared with you. So even if you just share it with yourself from one account to another, you can do that. But again, you just need to show that it's shared. And a good place to go is to the shared with me right here in your Google Drive along here. And you can see I would be very easy to show that someone shared a file with me. Okay, so again, whether it be you sharing it from one Google account to another, or you actually have shared files from another person, just take a screenshot and show me that that you've got a shared file. Okay, all right. Take a screenshot of a file you made a shortcut for. So I showed you this earlier. We kind of talked about it. The files that have this little arrow are shortcutted files. So what that means is that, you know, if I'm going to use this Sky Science, and let me just scooch down to it here. If I'm going to use this Sky Science Google form in multiple places, what Google doesn't want you to do is go make a copy, make a copy, make a copy. Because every time you make a copy, it takes up space over here, right? It takes up 3.8 megabytes. And before you know it, you're like Brad and you've got hundreds of gigabytes of stuff in your Google Drive, right? And in Google, like Google for Schools, you don't have an infinite amount anymore. You used to have an infinite amount, but not anymore. So what so Google, I'll just click on this here. I'll show you here so it just shows me here where I've got all my stuff. I've got 157 gigs in my drive, and then I've got some mail stuff. And if you got photos, it'll be there. But I believe it's 100 terabytes that we get. It's a huge amount that they still give you. But I mean, there will become a point where, I don't know how, a year to 10 years from now or whatever, that will reach that storage limit. So anyways, making a shortcut is just a way to not keep or create multiple versions of a file that keep taking up space in your drive. So how do you make a shortcut? Again, right-clicking is your magic answer there. You right-click and you just say add a shortcut to drive. Okay, once you've done that, same idea. Just take a screenshot of those little of the arrowed icon on the whatever file it is, and then add it to your overall file here in this document. Okay, well, we're almost done here. There we go. I think, is that the last one? We're almost done. And then let's download a file. Okay, so same idea. Right click, say I want to download this one right here. I want to right click it, and you're just going to say download. Now, when it downloads, it automatically downloads it as a Word file. Okay, so I'll just show you here on my desktop. And as soon as there it is. So it showed up as a Word file. So, and you can see that, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it ends in DOCX. So if I double click it and I open it up, it's going to launch Microsoft Word for me down here. Okay, so so you need to be able to show me that you know how to do that. And the only reason that you'd want to do that literally is if you're going to share this file with somebody who's not a Google user, right? So you can do that for your slideshows, your Google Sheets, and your Google Docs. You can download them as Office files, Microsoft Office files. And then that way, I don't know, let's say you had a parent who doesn't use Google and they want to see an assignment or something. You could easily put it into a Word file with like no fuss, easy to do. Okay. All right. Let me just make that a little bit bigger again. Okay. All right. Next thing down is, let me just make that a little bit smaller. There we go. Okay, just like here. Yeah, that's a Word file there. That's easy way to do it. We've done that one. All right, I think that's it. Okay. All right. Now, is there any of those things that you'd like me to show again? Okay, I think most of it's pretty straightforward. Some of it might, so there might be a couple things in there that were new, and that's great. Like for you, I mean, personally, if they're, you know, and if you knew all of that, well, then, hey, awesome. So that's great. Okay, so one of my goals today is to not go 15 minutes over the class time. So at 9:20, if I'm still yapping, somebody needs to pipe in and say, and not in the chat either. And somebody needs to turn their microphone and go, "Hey, Brad, class is over. Stop talking." Okay. All right. So that's one of my goals today, is to not go over time. And again, I thank you last time for allowing me to yap for way longer than I should have. Okay. Next one up is digital markup. So in Google, I'm just going to close up a couple things here. In Google Classroom is the next one up is this digital markup assignment. Okay. And you can submit both of them just right here in this one place. Now, digital markup, easy peasy. So again, same idea, file, make a copy. Oh, where's my make a copy? Oh, right there at the top. I'm gonna make a copy. And again, what you call it is up to you. And I'm just gonna make sure I'm just gonna throw it into my drive. Okay. And then I'm gonna make a copy. And I'll just close the original so I don't make any boo-boos on it. And so this is really the computer way to, take somebody's, paper, and I'm going to go, right here, circle spelling mistake, circle that, go, I'm not sure what you meant by this paragraph. So this is like the 21st century version of doing that, but just in a Google Doc. And so that's one of the beautiful things that you can do, is you can do the markup part. Okay. Down here, it tells you what you need to do. Okay. It's worth 10 marks. There's 10 things to do, basically, and you just need to do them. So one of them is that you add text to this document. So let's say the student didn't put a title in here. So you can say, the moose, right? And then what I would do here is I would just highlight that. I would come over to the comment bar and say, you forgot the title, or something, oopsie, something like that, and make a comment. Okay, so I've added the title. Same idea here. You use the highlighter. Well, that's pretty easy. I'm just going to say here, right here, kind of like highlighter tool, whatever color you want it to be. Man, I did that wrong again. Did I do that wrong again? I don't know. There we go. Highlighter tool. And then, so all you got to do is go through all of these. Strike through and underline tool. Well, underline tool is right there. But remember, strike through, and I'll just show you an example, is found under format, text, strike through. Okay, there's that one. You use a comment tool. There it is there. Either use a shape or drawing tool, perhaps an arrow. So this one's a little bit more tricky because there really isn't on the toolbar up here a way to draw an arrow. So what you actually have to do on that one is you have to go insert and go drawing and go a new drawing. Okay. Now, one of the things you could do is find an arrow on the web, do an image search and use that. But this is probably easiest. I just go new. It gives us a little bit of a template to draw an arrow. There we go. And of course, I'm gonna make that a little bit bigger, like so, like make it 4 pixels. And if you want to change the color, let's say it's a red arrow, right? Now I can go save and close. And that arrow is on my screen. Now, what I recommend is that you do this. Can't remember which one it is. Break text, behind text, in front. So in front. So then that means that when I drag it, I can move that arrow around and point it at whatever I want, something like that. Okay. Yeah, Lisa, thanks. That's awesome too. Yes. So one of the things that you could do, but I don't think you can move it around, but I'll just show you what Lisa's talking about. Under the insert menu, if you go to special characters, okay, and we'll actually use this during the class, is you can add an arrow, okay? But what it does, and I'll just show you here, it adds it right here as a character. So I know you can't, I'll make it bigger. I'll make it huge, right? But the thing with that kind of an arrow is like this one, you can't move it around, okay? But there is an arrow there, but what it does is it adds it as like a letter, like you're typing. It's like a character. So you can use it. If it was the appropriate spot, you could totally use it. So how you get the arrow in there doesn't matter to me. To me, I was thinking that you'd insert it from a Google drawing and then choose it as in front of text. Okay, so that's how you would do that. There we go. That might be the most complicated one. You have shown a student where the title goes, right? So that arrow we could, here a second here. Let me just undo that for 1 sec. Let me get rid of this one and go here, right? Title or something like that. I don't know, that kind of idea. And then, yeah, you suggested a title, right? So there you go. So that's markup, and that's it, right? So here, this one I would, like I said, I would make a comment, and when it's a spelling mistake, I just go SP. My students know that, right? So then they come, oh, where is that? Oh, it's right there. So, all right. Any questions about that? This one's a pretty easy one. This one probably won't take you more than about 10 minutes, okay, to do. And again, once you're done, just submit it in Google Classroom. Both the file systems and the digital markup just go in as one thing, okay? All right. Questions on that? Because if not, I'm just going to switch gears here for a minute. Kate, go ahead.
I'm just wondering, so are the rubrics like attached to the files themselves? Is like
yeah. There is really no rubric for either one of these assignments. I guess in the digital markup one, there is kind of a little mini rubric down here, and so here you could just go. It's out of 1, I give myself 1. I give myself 1. I give myself 1. Okay.
Okay.
But for the other one, there isn't a rubric or a checklist. So just submit it when it's done.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Good question. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. All right. And of course, if any questions come up when you're doing it, or you have any problems, just let me know, and I can get you on the right path of getting this assignment done. Okay. So one of the next things we're going to do is we are going to start talking about lesson planning. And let me just close Mojicopy up there. So with lesson planning, you're going to end up, and I'm just going to make this really small so you can see it. You're going to end up with a lesson plan template. Okay. And then that template you're going to use to create actual lesson plans on, right? And it's going to be a template, or we call it a template for a good reason, is that every time you use it, you're going to go up to File and go, make a copy, so that you can actually put in lesson stuff in there. But we need the template first before we can do that. With this lesson planning, the whole sort of topic of lesson planning, we're probably going to spend a couple classes on it, maybe even 3, because it's one of the most important skills that you're going to learn as a teacher. And if you can't lesson plan or unit plan or year plan, you're not going to make it as a teacher, right? You will actually fail your practicums, and you won't get a teaching certificate. So knowing how to lesson plan, like the template's not that bad. There's hundreds and thousands and probably millions of lesson plan templates out there. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I always do when I start this off, just say, lesson plan templates. I'm just going to type my own in here. Okay. This is a Google search. There's 511 million results. So, and you can see if I just click, if I just click here, images, there's just oodles and oodles and oodles of them. So here's what's going to happen in our class is I'm going to show you the one that I use. And Brent Galloway also uses this format in the Ed 250 class. And I use it in my, Ed 1500 class. And I use it in my 1500 class as well. So, but here's what's going to happen is you're going to get exposed to lots of different lesson plan templates. This template that I've got here that we're going to do together is a version of a template that has evolved over my entire teaching career, which is like 30 plus years-ish now, getting close to there. So, you know, through different PD events, through my colleagues, through things that I've investigated myself on the internet, this is the template now that I use when I, you know, officially lesson plan. Just want to see here. Okay. All right, that was not a question for me. So what we're going to do is let's see if we can get the template done, or at least start the template now. And then what we'll do is we're going to actually talk about the nitty gritty of what goes in there after. But we need the template first. So let's try that to see it. We'll get as much as we can done between now and 9:20. Okay. So here's what you're going to do is you are going to create a brand new Google Doc. Okay. And in that Google Doc, when we create it, we are going to call it, I'm just going to make this a little bit taller like so. When we create it, we're going to call it lesson plan template. That's exactly what we're going to call it, lesson plan template. And if you want, because you might have different versions of this as you progress through your program, I'm just going to call it brain lesson plan template. Okay. And I call it that because it is based on some research that has been done by me, but also by another gal, and her name is Marsha Tate. And we'll talk in depth, a little bit more in depth about her as we progress through this whole lesson planning series, I guess we can call it. So I'm going to call it brain lesson plan template. And of course, I'm just going to add section B on there just so I don't get confused with my other section. You don't have to add section B, of course. Okay. Once I've given it a name, you know that I am going to start, because we're going to come back to it lots and lots and lots. So I know that it'll just be in my start items folder over here. Okay. I don't really need to do anything else. If you want to organize it wherever you want, you can move it to whatever folder you want. But one of the things that I do want you to do is I want you to come over here to share. So this is the kind of thing, there's these three things that we'll do generally with all the stuff that we create from scratch. One is, of course, we'll give it a name. The other one is, you can see that anytime you create a brand new Google anything, it is automatically locked down so that you're the only person that can see it. Okay. And you'll know that by seeing the little lock here, and it's private only to me when you mouse over it. Okay. Because these things that we're making, like this lesson plan template, this is an artifact that you're going to want to add to your ePortfolio. So what we need to do with these is that we can't keep them private, because if you add it to your ePortfolio, no one's going to be able to see it. It's going to say, you're going to get a message on the screen. Like if it was me, I'll get a message on my screen that says, please request access. And if I'm the person hiring or trying to hire you, and I'm getting all these requests for accesses, I'm just going to say, forget it. I'll find somebody who's shared things properly. So here's the sharing thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to click the share button, and you can see under general access, it's restricted. When it's restricted, it's only to you. But what we're going to do is we're going to go anyone with the link. Don't choose Red Deer Polytechnic, because again, if I'm a principal that works in Chinook's Edge, I don't belong to Red Deer Polytechnic. And again, I won't be able to see it. So we're going to go anyone with the link is a viewer. Okay. So that's not public on the web. Nobody can go type in Brad McDermott lesson plan template and find it. Okay. So we're just going to, anyone with a link can be a viewer, right? There are other options there, but we want them to be able to see it. So that's all we're going to do. And we're going to say done. Okay. And then we're going to do one last thing, which I just showed you when we're doing the screenshot exercise, is that we're going to go to file and we're going to go to page setup. And because this is a template, we want the most real estate that we can on that page to do our typing. Or if you print it out and you're going to be some people like to write it by hand still, and that's cool, but we still want the most bang for our buck. So first thing is we're going to do is make sure that this is not changed to another section. It shouldn't be. We are going to be making, this one is going to be portrait. So remember, if I'm sure you all know this, but I'll do it anyway. Portrait is like this. landscape is like that. Portrait, landscape, right? So we're going to make sure that it's portrait and that it's on a regular, that's just a regular size piece of paper, is letter 8.5 by 11. Okay. Don't change the color of the page. So you can change it to any color you want, really, literally. But and here's why. Because if you do want to print these out, or your principal says, you know what I'd like? I'd like your hard copies of your lesson plans for something so that I can evaluate you. If you're going to choose color, that uses loads and loads of ink. Because what it does, and I'll just show you if you're not familiar, and I say, okay, it makes my page purple. Okay, you print that out, that whole page is going to be purple. And if you have an inkjet printer, it's going to come out like probably dripping, because that is a lot of ink, right? So, so don't change the color from anything really from them white. Okay, but most importantly is we're going to have those 0.5 margins. So all you're going to do is just go, 0.5 tab, 0.5 tab, 0.5 tab, and then just do the last one, 0.5. Okay, so once this window your window looks like mine, where it's, all this stuff is the same, then just hit OK. When you hit OK, literally nothing miraculous is going to happen. Okay, only thing that actually happens is that these tabs up here just move out 1/2 inch. That's all. Okay, and that goes again like along the top, and then you can see along the side you've got a ruler, or you should have a ruler. If you don't have a ruler, you can just go view and go show ruler if you don't have it on there. Okay, and I just find it very handy for lots of things. So I turn the rulers on. Okay, all right, everybody good? Any questions? All right, okay, so this lesson plan template is literally a series of tables. Okay, so what we're going to do is right here, you're going to get very good at this, is you're going to go insert a table. Now for this first one, all you're going to do is just a 1-by-1 table, and it inserts it like this. Now I do it this way, as each one of these are kind of like separate tables. And I do that I actually have a reason that I do that, is that if you don't do that, you just say, okay, well, how many rows is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't even know how many there are. Let's say 25 rows. It changes sort of the dynamic of the page. And I think from my experience, it is much easier to use a document that has all of these tables than it is to use this one sort of big, long series of rows in one table. So just gonna have to trust me on this one. I think it's much better. Okay. All right. I just want to do, what do we got here? I just want to see something here. I got that, and I've got that. Okay. This is the one I think that I want to use more than where's that other one? This one. Yeah, I want to use this one. So I'm actually going to close this one. No, I'm going to leave this one open. Hold on a second. I'm just going to leave this one open because I don't want to use this one. I want to use this one. All right. So, all right. In that first box we made, just type in the word topic. Okay. We're not going to make it pretty right now and add colors and fonts and all that jazz. I'm just going to put in the word topic here. I'll make mine a little bit bigger. Okay. So we're going to have topic. Now, what I want you to do is click outside of it, and I want you to create another table. So we're going to go insert a table. And this one's going to be, I never remember what these are, 2-by-1. Okay. So we're going to do that. And then on this side, we're going to type in the date. Okay. And I'll talk more about what you want to put in some of these boxes after. Okay. And then this one is going to be subject. Okay. So again, topic might be constellations, and the subject would be sky science, grade 6 sky science. Okay. So that's why we have discern those two different kind of boxes. Okay. Now the next one down is, what do we got? 2, 5, 3. Okay. So the next one down is going to be like this. It's going to be a table that is going to be 2 across and 3 down. So it's going to look like that for now, at least. Okay. Now, here's what we're going to put in each one of these cells or boxes, whatever you want to call them. This one is going to be lesson outcomes. Lesson outcomes. Okay. And the next one over is going to be assessment. So what kind of assessments are you going to use in your lesson? Okay. We're going to put in here lesson objectives because there's a difference between the two. Okay. Between outcomes and objectives, there's a difference. And then over here, we're going to put in input. Okay. And actually, I think that is all I'm going to add. So we've got one too many rows here. So here's what we can do. We can just highlight that row or just click in that row, right click, and just say delete row. Okay. So again, all you got to do is be in this row. You can right click it and say delete row, and then you'll be good to go. On these ones that we just made, just for our uses, I'm just going to, like in lesson outcomes where my insertion point is right here, all I'm going to do is hit return or enter, like, let's see, 1, 2, 3 times, let's say, for now. And I'm going to do the same thing on lesson objectives. I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, just to start giving us an idea of what this is going to look like. Okay. All right. Anybody need me to do anything again, or is everybody okay? Everybody's good? Okay. Right on. Okay, so the next one that we're going to do, let's click outside of that table. We're going to insert another table, and that one is going to be a 3x1. Okay, and so it's going to look like that. In this first box, we're going to type in time. Okay, and that time is going to be how many minutes are you going to spend on whatever activity is that you're doing. This one in the middle is going to be called teaching points. Okay, and I'm going to actually make that one, oopsie, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to make that one just all caps, teaching, and you don't have to, I'm just making it my own this way, points. And only because it's kind of important. Okay, and then over here, we're going to have this one, and we're going to learn about Bloom's taxonomy. If you don't know anything about Bloom's taxonomy yet, Bloom's, we'll just call it Bloom's. We'll call it Bloom's level. How's that sound? Okay. So what we're going to do now is we don't need this time box because all you're going to type in there is like 10M for like 10 minutes. So we can make it. So on this little vertical bar, just mouse over it, and then you can drag it over like so. You don't need it to be very big. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing on Bloom's. We're going to move it over, mouse over it, and then drag it to the right. And also what we're going to do on this one is we're going to make Bloom's level a really small font, like I'm making it 8 point. So it's going to be tiny. Okay. And then I'm just going to drag it over again. I'm going to keep going to make it, oh, I don't want to be on 2 lines. So I'm going to make it as small as possible. Okay. And then all of these, I'm just going to highlight all of them. I want them all to be centered like so. Okay. So then what that does is it gives us the maximum amount of room here to type, because the teaching points is like the meat and potatoes of what you're doing for your lesson. It's everything is in there, because Bloom's is this going to be over here where, like I said, we're going to type in like 10M or 10M 21 or 30 seconds, or if it's a video or something like that. It's just going to be very, very small and short. And over here, we'll learn more about this as we go. You're just going to type in like basically like C1, C6, P4, like just really short again. So it doesn't have to be very big. Who's got their hand up? Lisa, go ahead.
You're down to 2. Sorry, you're down to 2 minutes.
Thank you. Give me a 2-minute warning. I like that. All right. Okay. We'll make one more box or one more table down below that, and we'll call her quits till next week. Pardon me. So we're going to go, again, make sure your insertion point's below. We're going to go insert a table, and this one is going to be the same thing. It's going to be a, it's going to be a 3x1. Okay. And we're going to match it so that these vertical lines are, and you can just eyeball it. There's no magic way I'm doing this here. I'm just eyeballing it so that those lines are about the same. Okay. And then what we're going to type in this box is anticipatory set. And then in brackets, I just want you to put in the word hook. Okay. And those words may or may not mean anything to you right now, but they will most definitely mean lots to you by the time we're done this whole thing. Okay, that's where we're going to stop. We don't have to do anything else. You've got the file systems and markup to work on between now and when do we meet again? On Tuesday. And then in between now and then, if you have any problems or questions, make sure you just shoot me a message or an email. And other than that, have an awesome weekend. If you've got questions, comments, concerns, stick around and I'll help you. If you are heading out for the weekend or for another class, go ahead and do that, and I'll catch you on Tuesday. Thanks, everybody. And thanks, Lisa, for keeping me on time. Go ahead. Pietra first and then Ricky next. Are you there, Pietra? Yeah, go ahead. If you're talking, I can't hear you there, kiddo.
Oh, there we go. Is
Oh,
it
there we go.
working
Yeah.
now? I didn't even know I had my hand up, but I guess that really works. 'Cause I have a question. When I was doing the file systems thing, this is before you put the, please do not do this yet. I was screenshotting it, but on my MacBook, it doesn't show when it's like in a folder, like as the star icon. But if I click on the like menu options, you can see it starred. So if I just attach that screenshot, is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great.
Okay, awesome. Thanks. Okay, go ahead, Ricky.
So I had just already went and made myself files in an attempt to be organized, which I am not. Anyways, I named my file the actual name, like educational technology, rather than the course code. Is that okay?
Perfect. Fine.
Okay.
You betcha.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Okay. Have a good weekend. We'll see you next week.
Thanks. You too. Rachel or Talon, do you got a question? If not, I'm going to head out. Okay.
Do you still want to see the video inserting issue that I'm having?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, for sure, Rachel. Yes.
Okay,
Do you want to
perfect.
share your screen with me? Do you know how to do that?
Do I just do the presenting button?
Yeah. So let me stop presenting and then you can share your screen with me.
Okay. 1 second. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my quiz. Do you see it?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to add video, and then here, I think I still have it pasted. Oh, never mind, I don't. But here you can see that if I type anything, like, there's no videos. So should I go to YouTube and copy the URL? Do you want to see that?
Yeah, I want to see that too.
Okay, I'm gonna just
and you are
make this.
oh, you're using Safari. Okay.
Yeah, I'm using Safari. Is that a problem?
Well, if this doesn't work, what you're doing right now, I'm gonna make you switch over to Chrome browser for a sec.
Okay, maybe that'll work.
That
I'm
might.
just gonna do this video. Shirt. Copy.
Okay, hold on for a sec. Before you do that,
Okay.
switch over to the URL like tab. See right beside video search, it says URL. Click that and paste it in.
And then it shows up, and then I select it, and that's what it says.
Okay, close. Okay. Can you go close that up? Can you go up to your little picture of yourself up in the top right corner and click on it for me? Oh, you might have to cancel that window there. Yeah. Yeah, you're in the right account. That is weird. And why is it? Okay. Can we, you can leave this open if you want, but can you open Google Chrome? Do you have that on your MacBook?
Yes, I do. I think it just needs a minute to open
Yeah.
up.
Oh yeah, no worries. It's all good.
Okay, should I just go?
No, you're gonna need to find you. So you're gonna need to, be in your Poly account. Yeah.
It doesn't have it in here. Oh my goodness. What is it, Rachel? It's RD
polyedu.ca.
polyedu. Okay. Uh-oh. I know this is the password.
Do you have your email correct?
It might be with a hyphen in the back.
No, you know what? Because when I'm the guy who sets up all these email accounts, and so when people have hyphenated names, it always makes it a little bit more complicated for me to decide what email address to give you. I'll just tell you how it is here right now. Just one sec. Or what does it say to you in, or here, I'll just show it. I'll just do it right now. Just like here, Rachel. Where are you? It's Rachel. Oh, there's two accounts. I got two accounts for you.
I know there's two. When I was like signing up for all of my stuff and making all of my things, that's
so I've got that account for you. Let me just go back for 1 second. I wonder if that's any part of the problem. And then, okay, so what's in this account? You've got 17 docs in that account, and you got none in this one. Okay, so here's the account that I think you should use, and that is where your Montefalco parole. So it's Rachel dot and then all of your last name together. So at rdpolyedu.ca. Okay, so if you go next and you're typing your password, is it giving you grief? Because it looks like you're logged in.
No, it's just the same picture.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I made the same. Let me see.
I can reset your password right now too if we want.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just reset it. Okay, I'm just gonna put your password in chat. You're gonna have to change it anyway. So that's just your password right now.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you still. Yeah, you bet.
Okay.
Can you see it in the chat, or if not, I can just tell you what it is.
It's just black and says you lost your connection.
No worries. So just go back to go to Chrome, and I'll tell you what it is. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Capital A, capital B.
A, B. I'm just gonna make sure I'm typing that right.
Sure, you bet. Small c, small d. And then exclamation and question mark. Oh, I don't know where she went. Talon, are you there? Do you need help?
Hello?
Hello there.
I think it logged me out because I had to change it, right?
Yeah, it's okay. No worries. So,
Okay, I'll just go back to sharing my screen. Hello? Okay, and then I'll go back to the Chrome browser, and then should I just open up this form?
yeah, are you logged in? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
I'm gonna add it to this one.
Let's try that again and see. This may or may not solve your problem, but I'm curious now. So,
Okay, and then I'm gonna paste this URL, and I'm gonna press select. Yeah, like I don't know why it says it can't be played by my account. Like, is it like maybe some type of weird setting?
yeah, I'm just gonna see here. Says just like here. Just looking at what apps you have permissions to use.
Mhm.
You should have all of them. Like, I'm not sure why you would not have YouTube. Oh, you know, there is right there, right at the very top. Okay, let me just see something here. No.
Weird technology.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else it could be. Like, should it be my computer? And I don't have anything like blocked or anything. And I tried looking it up, and it said that maybe some videos can't be shared like that. But I've tried on like public videos and stuff.
I'm going to need to investigate a little bit more and see why, because it seems like you're the only person, like at least in this class, no one in the other classes said anything to me yet. So it's, I wonder if it's a Mac setting.
Maybe it could be. I just wouldn't know that deep. I haven't really changed anything as far as stuff like that. So, because I've used Google Classroom plenty of times before, and
Yeah.
like,
And you haven't
this
had a
platform.
problem. I mean, you can access videos, you can see them, you can watch them, but you just can't
like upload it.
Upload it. Gosh,
Mhm.
what could be in sec here? Here, let me just go here with this. Okay. Let me play around with it. And
Do you
if
think that my YouTube account has to be logged into like an RD Poly account?
Well, yeah, it probably does. So, okay, here, you know what? Let's try one more thing. Okay.
Okay.
So if you go to YouTube, so actually just, okay, we'll try two things. Go to YouTube. Yeah. Go there to that link.
Mhm.
And then you are going to see in the top right-hand corner, very top right-hand corner, you're going to have a picture of yourself, but right below it, you have another picture of yourself. Go to that one. And then what I want you to do is go to, hold on here, switch account, third thing down. And what account are you in there? That is your EDU account. Interesting. Okay.
Maybe this one. This one
So
isn't.
that might be part of the problem. So why don't you go down there and go add? Yeah, just add your EDU account there. Because for me, I'm in, just a second here. Let me go to YouTube myself. When I'm in YouTube on my Mac, my top one, yeah, both of them are, both of the little pictures are my EDU account.
Oops. rdpolyedu.ca.
Yep.
Make sure I spelled my name right.
Yeah, don't put there's no hyphen in your name there.
Oh, there isn't anymore?
Yeah, no.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Now it's going to send me another text.
Well, I know. It's a pain in the butt when it's actually you, but I mean, if it was ever anybody else, then that's when it's really works out to be a good thing.
True. So sync it.
Yep. See, yes, I'm in. Yep, you bet. You'll get all your bookmarks and stuff. So,
Okay. Now should I just go to YouTube here?
Sure.
Because these ones are synced. I'm sure that it'll work. Maybe. So I'll go to YouTube. I'll find. Well, I have that URL pasted, so maybe I should just go to the form
Sure.
when these ones are synced. We'll see if those work, and if it doesn't, should I just paste the link onto?
Yeah. Yeah. If you
form?
do that, and then
Okay.
I'll investigate more and see why it's not working for you.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna type Mr. Beast. Oh. Okay, let's see if I can actually add a video. I'm gonna select this video. Oh, look it's working. Wait, let me make sure
Yay.
this is the right thing. Okay, okay, good. So they have to be synced up, I guess.
I think so. I think then that might be the problem, is that both those pictures have to be in your EDU account.
Yeah. Do you think I'll be able to do this on Safari?
Give
It'll
it a
work
try.
now on Safari probably.
Probably, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna do this one. Mr. Beast. Okay, so I guess it works now.
Okay.
Well,
It's all
thank
good.
you for your help.
Yeah, we just problem solved it together. So
Okay, good, good. Have a good rest of your day.
thanks, you too. Take care.
See ya.
Talon, are you there? And do you need my help? No? Okay. I'm heading out. You have a great day. Bye-bye.